Right, so creatine phosphate, following on from the netball player, creatine phosphate rebuilds ATP so it can be used for energy. So as exercise is prolonged, the creatine phosphate levels within the body will decrease, meaning less ATP will be made, and therefore the netball performer's performance will decrease, as they won't be able to work so hard or contract muscles contract as forcefully. So acetylcholinesterase is the enzyme that terminates. That terminates neurotransmission by the acetylcholine released by the motor neurons at the neuromuscular junctions. When playing netball, the acetylcholine will be released, which transmits signals through our nervous system to tell the muscles to contract and work harder. As the netball game goes on, the netball player's heart rate will increase, and therefore more acetylcholine will be released into the Krebs cycle. So acetylcholine obviously will decrease in conjunction with this. This means transmission of signals will be much slower. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. This means transmissions of signals will be much slower. So the netballer won't be able to react to certain situations so quick. For example, intercepting the ball to gain possession against the other team. In order to prepare the netballer for her game, she should take part in a thorough warm-up lasting up to 20 minutes. This will increase heart rate and blood flow, which will increase oxygen delivery to working muscles. It will also increase muscle temperature and reduce lactate accumulation within the body, as the body will be working aerobically. Also, 2 to 3 hours before the match, she should consume a meal consisting of mainly carbohydrates such as whole grain wheats, pasta, bread, whatnot. Then some vegetables such as broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, and some proteins such as salmon, chicken, or beef. Carbohydrates will provide the energy with glucose, which can be stored as glycogen and used for energy for the netball player to play for longer periods of time without tiring. Making sure that the carbohydrates consumed are whole grain provide a slow release of energy, in which they can provide energy for longer periods of time so that the muscles don't tire or fatigue. Netballers should also aim to drink 1 to 2 litres of water before a game, and continue to drink water throughout the game within the breaks given every 15 minutes in order to replace fluids lost from the body through sweating, and also to prevent dehydration, in which nausea, sickness and headaches could occur. After the game, a thorough cool down should be done to decrease heart rate and breathing rate back to normal state. EPOC will occur straight after exercise, in which breathing rate increases and deepens to provide the body with the oxygen it did not have when exercising. Also, removal of lactic acid will take place in order to prevent muscle cramp. ATP-PC will also be resynthesized in order to provide energy for the body, the muscular contraction, for example. Ways in which a netballer could train themselves so that they don't fatigue so easily is by practicing sprint drills. The more they get used to working at a faster pace, the more the muscles will adapt to this speed and power, and then therefore not fatigue so easily. A marathon runner will run at a consistent pace for a long time. So now we're going on to a marathon runner. So as said before, they will run at a consistent pace for a long period of time, working aerobically mainly. As a marathon runner begins to exercise, breathing rate and heart rate will increase to bring more oxygen into the body. As exercise is prolonged, oxygen levels will start to deplete. This is because the body uses the oxygen brought into the body for energy production of the working muscles. At the end of the race, the marathon runner may need to sprint in order to place well or to get a better time. Breathing rate will increase rapidly, and the demands for oxygen within the body will be more than what can actually be brought in. Therefore, the body will go into this anaerobic state. Lactate levels will increase at this point due to build-up of lactic acid, and muscle fatigue and cramp will occur, or may occur. It's dependent. Marathon races are very long-winded, therefore it's important that marathon runners are fully hydrated before exercise, consuming around 2 to 3 litres. And also they should keep these replacement of fluids during the race too. Due to the long duration of the marathon race, the runner will sweat a lot, releasing fluids and electrolytes. If not replaced, this will leave the runner feeling weak and not be able to perform as well. Loss of electrolytes can be replaced during the race through sports drinks. These also contain carbohydrates, as they are normally quite sugary, therefore giving a quick supply of glucose to the muscles in order to provide energy for contraction and movement. Plenty of water should be drank after the race in order to fully hydrate the body once again. As exercise is done over a long period of time, calcium ion stores will also decrease. Calcium stores are needed within the sliding filament theory in order to provide contraction of the working muscles. Therefore, if calcium ion is low, then the muscles then won't work so efficiently. This will slow down the pace of the runner and may cause other athletes to overtake them so that they won't win the race. Before a race, a marathon runner should eat a meal consisting of mainly carbohydrates, specifically whole grain, in order to get these glycogen and glucose stores readily available for the body for use of energy production, and therefore limit the amount the body fatigues. The meal should also consist of vegetables and proteins, and also a glass of milk could aid performance, because it could increase the amount of calcium ions within the body, so that these can then be used for muscular contraction. To get the body prepared for exercise, a warm-up should take place, in which this will increase the body temperature and breathing rate. More oxygen will be brought into the body to provide efficient oxygen delivery to working muscles. The body will be working aerobically, and lactate levels will decrease, causing muscular cramp and fatigue. A cool down should be taken after the event has happened in order to regulate the body temperature back to normal, so that self-functioning can happen efficiently. Epoch fast component will also occur, in which breathing rate will become heavy and deep in order to bring oxygen into the body to replace the oxygen lost during, and then excess carbon dioxide can also be removed. Prior to the race, a meal should be eaten consisting of mainly carbohydrates, which will replenish glycogen stores within the body needed for energy for the contraction of muscles. Protein are needed also needed within this meal to aid the repair and growth of working muscles, and fats are also needed within this meal to provide protection of organs and insulation, as well as providing them extra stores for if we need them when working hard, doing exercise, and all of our glycogen stores have depleted. Another quite obvious way of improving fatigue would be just through training. Like, the more training done that includes replicating the actual event, such as continuous training, the more the body will adapt to this type of training done. For example, breathing rate will decrease due to this, and this means therefore the body will be able to inhale. Breathing rate will also decrease, maybe down to training, as well as tidal volume, and then this therefore means that the body will be able to inhale more oxygen into the body when exercising, and therefore be able to work more efficiently when working anaerobically for longer periods of time, so minimising that time that it takes for the body to actually fatigue. So yeah, thanks.